Yo, what's going on, guys? Dillwobs here. Welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. Can you tell I'm excited for Phoenix in Season 3? Because today we have a breakdown of a bunch of things you might have missed, because in the Phoenix trailer, we can see she has a lot more extra abilities than are originally shown, and I want to make sure you have all the info so you know what to look out for when you start playing Season 3. Now, there will be streamers having early access today as well, so I'm sure they'll show off a lot of this. But we have a few things. So the first thing I wanted to point out that a lot of people didn't notice in the trailer, and thanks to some of you guys commenting, pointing this out in my last video, the first one is during her flight ability, which is her E ability. This lets her fly, and she has a fuel meter, and she can use this as much as she wants as long as she has the fuel active. But flying as Phoenix actually automatically reloads your primary fire. So if we watch here, she has 10 ammo, she keeps shooting, she goes down to 9, 8, and then she has 7 ammo, and then she starts flying. And at this point, she's flying as the Phoenix form, and you look, it starts reloading. It starts reloading pretty fast as well. I mean, we're playing this in 0.25 speed, but you can see how quickly this starts reloading when she starts flying. It's actually pretty cool. I love this idea, and you're pretty much never going to really have to reload as Phoenix if you're constantly moving about, and the fuel meter does, recharge pretty fast. And with how fast it reloads, I think this is a pretty awesome mechanic. And just to confirm that it's definitely from her flight, we can see in this clip here as well, she does the same thing. She has about 8 ammo, and then she pops flight, and you can watch it go straight back up to 12. So it reloads really fast when you fly, so definitely keep that in mind when you're playing Phoenix next season. On top of that, we've also noticed that Phoenix has a self-heal ability. That's right, a way to keep her health topped up even if she's on the flank and doesn't have access to her healers. So when Phoenix shoots enemies, you can see it creates this icon, and after 2 shots, the enemy will be fully charged, and a 3rd shot or a 3rd hit from one of her abilities will cause that enemy to explode. We can see here she shoots Hela and it explodes her, dealing AoE damage. But every time you make an enemy explode like this from a charged shot, you will then begin healing. It's a very slow rate of healing, but look at that. You can see once she takes this shot, so Hela is fully charged, the second that shot lands on Hela, you can see the shot just landed and the healing has just activated. And then it will just heal you over time for a small amount of time. Then she hits the Hawkeye again, and this again starts the healing timer. So you don't get an instant burst of healing, you just begin passively healing. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. It doesn't look like she's being healed by any external healing, and you can see it throughout the trailer. I'll play it one more time in full speed so you can see the rate of the healing. You can see it's not crazy. Like, it really isn't crazy. It's probably like 10 healing per second, if that. But obviously, every bit of healing counts, especially when you're playing a duelist, poking the enemies on a flank or something like that. And if we head a little bit further into the trailer, we can see this happen again. So in this clip right here, we can see she takes a bit of damage here, and then she's going to explode these 2 characters. We have Venom and Thor. You can see they're both fully charged. They both have the full fire meter. So if she makes these guys explode, then she will start gaining healing. Now, she just used her shift ability, which does leave a clone behind that then the Phoenix Force ignites and explodes, which will then deal damage to Venom and Thor here and cause them to ignite from her passive. And when that happens, you'll watch her healing begins. So right here, they explode and bam, the healing begins, and you can see it starts ticking up. And then this time we can see kind of more of the duration. She's still flying about. Obviously, this is in 0.25 times speed, but she's still gaining that healing, and it's healing her up to full. Obviously here, she's exploded them again, so the healing will continue to passively heal if she loses health. So as long as you explode your enemies using her passive, you will then gain small bursts of that bonus passive healing. Very, very nice. I think this is going to make Phoenix a very, very viable character. On top of that, I want to talk about her right-click ability, because people really don't know what this right-click does. I've seen a lot of videos, even my own video didn't show the full extent of her right click, so I wanted to show you what it really does here. So when you pop your right click, you can see right here, this is it. This is her right click. You can see she's using her telekinetic abilities. Those are always shown in this pink color. And what I've noticed is every time you use a telekinetic ability as Phoenix, so that includes the right click and also her shift where she dashes away, it's always followed by the Phoenix Force, the fiery character following her, igniting the telekinetic ability and causing an explosion. You can see it every time. Look, she uses this pink ability and it creates a swirl around here, and then the Phoenix pops into action and ignites. And what you're seeing here is one explosion where you can see the Phoenix kind of pop up above it, and then a second explosion, and then a third explosion. This happens every time you use the right click. So you aim your right click at the ground where you want it, and what will happen is it will be followed by 3 explosions from the Phoenix. We can play this again. You can see, bam, 1 explosion, 2 explosions, 3 explosions in a straight line from where you threw her right click. Now, each one of these explosions will, in fact, ignite the enemies with your passive. So you can see Thor here already has 2 charges. So when he gets exploded right there with the right click ability, it then makes him ignite with her passive. But also, it seems like this right click explosion actually stops movement abilities. You can see here, Thor is charging up his hammer throw. So clearly he wants to charge towards Phoenix as he's lining that up. But the second he explodes from this giant right click's Phoenix blast, you can see, bam, he no longer has the hammer throw. So it looks like your right click explosives, these 3 ones that happen when you pop your right click, will actually stun the enemy for a very short duration, cancelling any movement abilities that they might be charging up, which will be really good at keeping the enemies bundled up into one area, allowing you to get your shots off, which will then ignite your passives and deal those chain reactions. So it's actually a really, really good ability to use on grouped up enemies to then keep them still for a short period of time. Let's see if Venom gets hit by this as well. I don't know if he's... Look, you can see that Venom's in the blast, and it looks like he also gets stunned as well. There you go. You can see it right there. When you hit someone with the right-click explosion, you can see the stun right there. You can see on Venom's head, this little flash on his face. That means he's stunned for a very short duration while that explosion goes off. So it's a huge stun, explosive area of effect ability that you can combo with your passive. Absolutely wild. Phoenix has even more abilities than we first thought, and they are 10 out of 10. She is going to be a very, very good character, and I don't think she's going to be too difficult to play. I think once you get down the idea of igniting the enemies, using her passive, all of her abilities aid her in the process of just blowing everyone to smithereens. And here you can see another shot of that right click. So the 3 explosions always happen. You can see the pink concussive blast goes off, and then Phoenix ignites the 3 Phoenix explosions, always in a line straight in front of where you were aiming, I suppose. And that will leave all the enemies stunned and ready to be exploded. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts on Phoenix now that you know all the details, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.